Hello everybody and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22. Double G here. This is episode 17 in the series that we're doing for the Elm Creek map. So in the last episode, we did a lot of work in the backfields. I cut all three grass fields for what is hopefully the last round of silage for a while. Leased the baler and the bale loader trailer, got everything wrapped up. Progressed into April, from March into April, and let it ferment, got it sold, made around $58,500. And then once that was sold, I plowed up this strip between fields 48 and 49 and made one big grass field. I took the money that I made off the silage and I put a medium-sized sheep enclosure in the corner of field 48, and I bought 20 sheep, so we should be producing wool soon. I've not progressed into May yet, so in game this has only been placed for about 30 minutes. Bought a bale of hay for the sheep. There's still 3,500 liters left, so we know that we're fine on hay at least until this disappears, because it will pull hay off of the bale as it needs it. Then planted sorghum in this field. So where I'm at now, it's kind of in a holding pattern. At some point we will mow this grass and bale it for the sheep. The sorghum will grow, it'll be ready to harvest in August, and our wheat fields won't be ready to harvest until July. So we're going to progress through some time. We're going to sell the things that we can sell. Nothing's at a great price, nothing's at a horrible price, but we need to sell them in the correct order so that we sell the things that are dropping in price first and the things that are escalating in price when it kind of peaks out. So at this point, our lettuce, let's find it, double check, make sure I'm not completely messing myself up. So our lettuce, we're in April, it's only going to go down, but it's still a reasonable price now. So we need to sell that before we progress into May. And the honey, although I don't think we'll have a lot of it, is also at a good price, but going down. Wool, which I don't think we're going to get a lot of just by progressing 1 month. But wool is still a good price in May. We obviously don't have any right now, but I wouldn't want to wait till June. After May, I would probably wait for it to cycle back up to at least March. So we can sell lettuce and honey now. We can then sell wool after we progress into May. And then eggs are going to be best for this little upswing and cycle in June. So that's what we'll do. But also, as we're progressing through the months, we have to make sure the sheep still have hay. We need to make sure that the chickens have food, and we have to check after the first, once we progress into May, we have to check for weeds in the sorghum. Aside from that, everything else is taken care of and we're just waiting for harvest time. So I'll grab the truck. Well, since we're here already, we can go back to lettuce, which will sell best at Red Marble Bowling Restaurant, but it's not a horrible price at Grocery Mart or Johnson's Farmers Market. And the honey, however much we have, Johnson's Farmers Market is the best. So I think we'll load up the honey and the lettuce and just go to the farmers market. There's no real way of knowing how much honey I have until I put it on the trailer. However, I do know that I sold all I had. Was it in the previous month? Maybe 2 months ago. But at this point, I'm trying to generate some income so that we will be able to buy another field, because we need more crops to have more to do. The animals are, make sure they're fed and wait to produce product and wait for a decent month to sell it in. There it goes. I don't think I was given enough time to go into gear. So we're gonna wind up with about, looks like 9 pallets of lettuce, which is pretty good. That'll be 4,500 liters. It's not a bad haul, and I did see 1 full pallet of honey. I don't know how much will spawn after that though. There's that. And these 3, we will most likely be needing to put some water in the greenhouses soon. I would prefer not to wait until they're completely empty because it's such a job with that smaller tanker. If we have any more than about 3 pallets of honey, we'll be out of space as well. I don't see us having much more honey than that anyway. Maybe a pallet and a half. There's 2. And should spawn something, even if it's a partial pallet. There you go. So almost 3. Is it going to tell me we don't have enough room? Surely not. Oh, I have the filter set to full only, that's why. So we will in. So it's a decent load to go to the farmer's market with. Once we do this, we can progress and sell whatever wool we have. I don't know how much we're going to generate in what will effectively be less than half of a month. Apparently still having some graphics issues. There's a little jumpiness. Nothing I can't live with. I've adjusted some of the graphic settings down to try and eliminate it, but apparently I have not gone far enough yet. Well, last thing I want to do is flip the truck. So once we get into July, we'll be able to harvest all of the wheat for chicken food. August, we can harvest the sorghum. But the key, I believe, to staying busy is going to be more fields. And eventually, at some point, we're going to have to build up the money to get into some secondary productions. I would really like to get cows, but that's so expensive. So we may just have to work on expanding what we have. Oh, missed that one. I'll just come in from the other side. So we're currently at 42,533. I would really love to have enough money at the end of this cycle to buy another field. So that's selling. And our grand total is, it's a lot of lettuce, 17,205, which brings us just under 60,000. I think the next field that I could buy, there's one field for 78,000 that is cotton, which would be ridiculously expensive to harvest because of the cost of even leasing the machinery. It would probably be at a loss. And then there's a field that's just under 100,000 that's not next to our back fields, but one further back. And it has canola in it now, which would be much easier or much less expensive to harvest. So we'll make our way back to the farm. I want to double check on the egg pallet spawn location because I believe it's to the point where it's going to be getting full. and I don't want to have the egg production stop because it's run out of space. So just check that before we progress into May. And then we'll have a few things that we need to check on as well before we progress into June. Switch the filter back again so that I only load the fulls. Ooh, don't clip the eggs. Okay. So just as I did last time, I'm gonna back up a little. And unload these there. We should have a reasonably good load of eggs to sell this go round. So far that's we have 4, 5, 6, 9 pallets plus whatever they generate over the next 2 months. And then we can progress. Okay. Gulliver first, he's already waiting. So if I don't do it now, I will likely forget. Okay, so chicken food first. We have we need to make at least 2 more months, which means we need at least 4,000. And we have 1875. It's not going to be enough. So I want to go ahead and take care of that. I believe there's still some barley in the silo. Empty that in there first. It's still, I don't think, going to be enough. This is May into June, June into July. We will be able to fill up the silo directly off the field. And what do we have? No wheat. We have 1,700 liters. Let's see what that does, but the math tells me it's still not 4,000. Slightly less painful than last time. That puts us at 35. I'm calculating they need at least 4,000 to be on the safe side. I think I'll go to the store and buy 2,000 liters of chicken food just to make sure. All right, so we'll just go in here and grab a couple thousand liters of wheat. Buy that too, and this is really just to be on the safe side, to make sure. Eventually the ideal situation would be to be growing enough grain crops to feed the chicken and eventually purchase the grain mill so that any surplus we could take to the grain mill and convert to flour, and then eventually feed that flour to the bakery. We're still a ways off from that. So get back, give this to the chickens. Another thing that would be nice during the harvest season is if we were able to catch a wheat or a barley harvest where we could turn in enough grain to satisfy the contract, but then keep the rest and put it in the silo. It's a good way to gain chicken food from fields that aren't yours. Once we get the chickens fed, we'll check the sorghum crop for weeds. That's easy enough to take care of, especially since we already own the sprayer. We'll double check and see how much food the sheep have consumed. Plenty of distance for me to get this one jacked up. I think I'll be alright. Really got to be to that outside edge. Alright, so that ensures that the chickens won't run out. Assuming that we'll be able to harvest our wheat in July and we don't have to wait until August. Take a look at the map, see what the weed situation is in field 47. Hard to say. Well, what we can do, park this, get the truck, jump out and check the weeds in the field, or check and see if there are any weeds in the field. Oh yeah, we already have almost 2 more pallets of eggs. And it's not until next month when we're going to sell it. I'm thinking I'm seeing weeds. So here, do we even have, oh, we have a small amount of wool. Is it even enough to mess with? It is 498, it's 178 liters. I'm gonna say no on the wool. There is 27, almost 2,800 liters of hay left. So it doesn't appear as though they consumed that much grass, and we still have 20 sheep, so we haven't had any born yet. And yeah, we have medium weeds. So we won't bother with the hay. I'm sorry, with the wool. Not for just a half or what might even be a quarter of a pallet. But we will get a tractor and go ahead and spray these weeds. I'll just park this next to the eggs again, since we'll be using it next. go get the sprayer, take care of the weeds. It's a very short growth cycle for sorghum. It's only about 3 months. So you have to make sure that you get everything done on the front end so you don't run out of time. Don't believe we have any fertilizer here, but it shouldn't take much. %. Oh, wait, what am I even doing? We're not fertilizing. Spraying. The field is already double fertilized because we subsoiled over a grass field. Alright, let's check this out. Oh, and we're full. That would have been a gigantic waste to fertilize the field. I think I might be too far over. Try something a bit more like this. Should only be 2 passes, but I still may be a bit far out. That'll definitely get it done. Deer in the field, at least I don't have to worry about spraying the dog this time, fingers crossed. Yeah, you can definitely tell the difference. Telephone poles, what do you do? Get back out. Oh, I'm gonna knock the sign down. Oh well, be alright. It's gonna take a full 3 passes. Move it, dear. Starting to feel like with just the eggs left to go, we're not going to have enough money. Oh, bump that. Well, there'll be one little area. Nah, I'll get it. Kind of a waste of herbicide, but it'll be okay. So that's taken care of. Now we will be able to progress into June, get the eggs sold, and see what our situation is on money. Just put this back in the barn. All right. Takes a while. We really didn't spend much time in May. All right. Guess the dog could use some food. And we'll check out the egg situation. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's really good. Okay. Load it all up and see what the total is. Oh wow. That's 12,000 liters. We may have enough money for that field after all. Thinking maybe, tough to say, maybe 1,600 liters total. Maybe a touch more. All right, 17,420. And the best place is the farmer's market. I don't think I'll, well, the bakery's lower anyway, and it most likely wouldn't take all of them. All right. Let's see if I can get these over to the farmer's market without tipping the truck over. Okay, so we made it. No broken eggs. At 3,600 per 1,000 liters, we may be getting 60 to 65,000 right here. Going up. I would love to have about 115, 120 when we're done. That might be possible. Oh, 121, 363. That will allow me to buy the new field and still have a little bit of money to work off of in the bank. It's going to be excellent. Get it? Excellent. Sorry, dad joke. That was a very productive series of selling. Would have been nice if we had a couple pallets of wool to sell as well, but it'll just make for a much more profitable wool sale next season. I believe the wool pallets may be the same as the egg pallets in that once it's full you have to clear it out or they'll stop producing unlike the greenhouses and the honey. All right, get this parked. We'll buy a field. The field I'm looking at is in the same block behind the farm, but it's not the next field, the next closest field. Let's put it that way. Take a look at the map. I would love to buy field 50 next, but the one I'm looking at is 51. And I think it's only slightly smaller than 50 because it's not as long, but it's wider. So if we look at field 50, it is 114,000, which we could theoretically buy. But it would leave about $7,000 in the bank. We could buy 51, which is only 91,000, would still leave 30,000 in the bank. It's, I think, the smarter play. Let's just have a look and see what crops are in the fields. So 50 is sugar beet again. I find sugar beet, cotton, and potatoes are really expensive to harvest. But canola is that? No, that's soybeans. It's actually soybeans. But still, we have the equipment. It may be a little undersized for that harvest. It'll take a little longer. Not a big deal though. And it will be ready a little bit behind our wheat and our sorghum. Here's our wheat, here's our sorghum. So you can tell the shade is a little lighter. You harvest soybeans in oh, you don't harvest them till April, May. No, sorry, you plant them April, May, you harvest them in October, November. So that'll work. I think that's the one I'm gonna get. And then hopefully the next field will be 50. And that would just complete this little block. So we'll buy that field. Yes. We still have 30,000 in the bank, which is good. And we'll be doing another reasonably sized sale in the wintertime when like the lettuce prices go way up. All right. So there's that. And our wheat field is looking good. It's 85% yield bonus. It may need some lime or something. I'm not really sure why it wouldn't be 100% yield bonus. But I think to finish off this episode, we'll just take a drive and go look at the field we just bought. If there's any good, I'm not sure there's a good way to get there from here. Other than just going all the way around on the road. Let's do that. Oh, can't see. Made it. So it's on the back side of this little farm area. Too bad we didn't get the buildings in the silo with it. Alright, there's our soybean field. It's only 50% fertilized. We could do with, yeah, let's go ahead and fertilize it again. And we'll let that be the last task for this episode. and it's super close, which is nice. It's not a long way to travel with any of our equipment, and it'll just finish out the block once we're able to buy the field in between. Windy. Super hard to drive around all these trees too this time of year. All right. Park this back. I still think the 20% fertilizer that we have will get it done. See if we can reverse all the way to the spreader. It's probably not the brightest idea for me, but it'll be fun. Definitely not the quickest way to do it. %. I'm going to go ahead and cross my fingers and hope that's enough. We're set on the widest spread. Maybe not. Maybe 3 passes. It really seems like a much bigger field than it looks like. Yeah, we'll be fine on fertilizer. I'm probably overlapping quite a bit as well. This should make for a good soybean harvest. It is a shame I can't clear out that part between here and the road and extend the crop out. Do this last pass, double check the map, make sure we got good coverage. Could possibly join this field and the field next to it into one super field, although you would lose the access road. Oh, kind of ran into the ditch. All right. Fertilized. Let's turn off the stones. Yep. It's still showing only 50% fertilized. It's very weird. Very weird. Of course, I didn't look at it before. Still only showing 50% fertilized. unless the fertilizer it had was applied during this growth stage. Well, that may have been for naught. And there's a weed. Well, it showed like... not showing any weeds. But it says it must just be the odd sporadic weed that I happen to have my mouse over. Very odd. Alright. We can try to fertilize again next month and hope that we'll be able to get it fertilized a second time for the increased yield. Just get this back over to the farm, get everything put away. Without having fertilized the field myself, it was tough to know when it was fertilized. I think I might have just jumped the gun on that one a little bit. The smart thing to do would have been to wait a month anyway. At least let's hope that's the case. For too long, we'll probably need more storage options, especially if we buy any more equipment. Well, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, take care.